Hello everyone, this is Diane. Thank you so much for coming to my channel today. I'm going to be going through this little golden book wire-bound journal that I just completed, and this will be in my shop. Well, I don't even know what day this video is going to be seen, but whatever day it's up, it will be in my shop at 6 p.m. and that information will be in the in the description box underneath this video with the date and everything. So this is a 1951 little golden book called Ukelele and Her New Doll. It was a first edition book, but it was missing the jigsaw puzzle in the back, so it wasn't worth, you know, what a really good condition first edition book would be worth. And I made a journal out of it, and I love it, and I hope you love it too. I used white 1-inch O-wires to bind it with my Bind It All, and I just added this really colorful yarn on the wires. I put some book corners on, and I need to tell you that I have messy fingers because I used some orange ink spray and the bottle leaked, so it got all over my fingers, and I have glue on my nails. It's hard to get the glue off of these nails. I left the back the way it was with the vintage book cover, but I did cover the inside pages, covers. This is from a National Geographic magazine. I had magazines from 1960 and 1966. So a lot of the images that you're going to see come from those two National Geographic magazines. Actually, it's probably more than two. I had several magazines from 1960 and several from 1966. I covered this with a striped paper and added this piece that I had stamped onto paper that I colored. And I did a video showing making these flowers, a scrapistry type of video, because I just used little scraps of paper for punching flowers and layered them with brads. Very simple. Before I go further, let me tell you, I opened up a wallpaper sample book to find a backdrop paper, and this was the first one in the book. That's perfect with the palm fronds, and this was a matching piece, and then this was a small piece that was right there with them, and I thought that would be great to make an envelope. So this envelope will come with some of the leftover things that I have here and some of the scraps of paper. They'll be in this envelope, and you can use them for decorating your journal. So here's the first page. The whole story is in here, so you can read all about Ukelele and her doll. And there are 14 book pages, so 28 pages front and back for the story. And they're nice and sturdy book pages. And it does say 1951 down here. So on this page, all I did was add a cut off strip of paper for decoration. And I did add 3 pieces of fringe to kind of mimic a hula skirt. And I stamped this journal spot here and stamped "Find Joy in the Little Things" and added that embellishment. I did some of the decorating in a video, probably what you saw yesterday. So in that video I added the leaf trim and this piece, and then a card for you to journal on. National Geographic images. I just glued this on, and then I added that little piece there. And inside is an advertisement for Pan Am. And it's offer to fly you to Hawaii. And you can write on the back. There's washi tape here. I used scraps of the cardstock paper that I used to make some tabs throughout the journal. This is a vintage recipe or menu. I don't know, there's no year on it, but it was stained. I covered some of the stains with this fabric washi that Sarah made from New England Junk Journals. Thank you, Sarah. And this is a little embellishment that I made. I just sketched the flower and watercolored that. And then I clipped in this image of a statue, and you can journal on the back. It has a lot of the names of tropical drinks there. And then I added a journal card and this little embellishment that we die cut in the very first video in this series. Here I have a colored graph paper and a scrap of paper. This is from National Geographic, and this is from a digital set, I believe. So there is a lot of journaling space with the colored pages, and I added cards and things for you to journal on. Here's a pretty paper clip that Sarah also made for me, and I paper clipped this image of a couple in a canoe. Looks very peaceful. This was something that I stamped onto sprayed paper, and you saw me, if you watched my video where I was punching out the flowers and stuff, the scrapistry video, I did this one too, and I glued it to green cardstock. This came out of a magazine, Pineapple Wedges Served with Grenadine, a Luscious Dessert. That was out of a different kind of magazine from the 50s. This is a recipe for pineapple supreme dessert. On this side it was coconut something, crunchy coconut whip something. The paper, the heavy cardstock decorative paper that I used is Anna Griffin. I got that at a antique mall. I just added that piece that says observations. And on the back we have, looks like these fellows are body surfing. And I pulled out some items from my stash that I had made. That's where these things came from that I had stamped onto colored paper, and this one too. I found some that would work in this journal and just took them out of my ephemera stash and got to use them. This is just a digital card. And this was in a bunch of recipes that I got for Hawaiian ambrosia. Put it that way. Another piece of the colored paper, and I added some fabric pieces. This is a circle of fabric that has pineapples on it. That's just a stamped word that was in my stash. I added this really pretty ruffled lace with some bright pink flowers. They look tropical to me. I used several pieces of lace in this journal, I think, that I just got at a flea market recently, and then in the last journal I made also I used some of the lace that I just got, and I haven't even put it away yet. It's in a pile in here. I need to organize it and put it away. I showed you this in the last video. It's colored dyed paper, the grid paper, and I just folded a piece and added this image from National Geographic and washi tape. This was another stamped piece that was in my stash. Made this pocket with a die cut flower from my Big Shot, and I punched a strip of paper there to add that nice border. And I will confess that when I punched the holes for my binding, I did not remove these cards. I removed all the other cards, but not these, and they tipped forward. So there were some punches here in the corner, and on the corner of this one I could just trim the edge. That was easy. Oh, there's a man walking between those two. He's on a tightrope between those two coconut trees. But this one, I didn't want to cut the postcard, so I just added this tab to cover up the holes, and I really think that's cool. Now, this postcard isn't from Hawaii, but it says, "Greetings from Tioga, Pennsylvania," and I'm pretty sure that this picture was, the postcard was not taken, the picture wasn't taken in Tioga, Pennsylvania. Unless unless you can do this, can you surf on a lake? Because they have a man-made lake in Tioga. That's where my sister lives. Anyway, it's a good picture to put in here. This is some satiny white lace or trim that I got a big roll of it at the flea market last year, and I love it. I use it a lot, but I didn't want white, so I sprayed this with green inks, a couple of different shades, and I think that looks really cool, and added this yellow floral ribbon trim. Here's a recipe from a 1950s magazine. It's summer pineapple platter, and I added washi tape and a tab. Here's Ukelele with her little wooden doll that she played with and took to bed with her. Then the men come on a ship looking for coconuts. They want to trade for coconuts. Love this paper here. This lovely lady, young lady, was in the National Geographic, standing by a waterfall with the breeze lifting her skirt and blowing her hair. And I thought this trim, this is one of the trims that is laying on my floor in here, I thought it looked like shells, so I just added that. It was just so dark down here, I wanted to add something else. And then I just decorated this tag. Some Hawaiian ladies selling leis to tourists. I stamped that and added this embroidered piece of trim. Here's another piece that's laying in a pile here, but it was this big piece. I cut off this section here to make that. There's another lovely lady from National Geographic. A couple of recipe cards here, Hawaiian fondue and sparkling pineapple. This man sees Ukelele with her wooden doll, and he says he has a surprise for her. And he gives her this beautiful china doll. And she loves it, but she couldn't wash her in her shell bathtub because water would damage the doll. I sprayed this lace. This was white lace also, and this is where the orange came in on my hand. And this is from another 1950s magazine, an advertisement for Dole fruit cocktail. And I had to include this man with his woven, I don't know what kind of palm fronds hat, and his Hawaiian shirt and his telephone. Be in touch with Hawaii fast. Telephone. It's an advertisement from one of the readers, or the National Geographics, for Bell Telephone. I love that picture. Oops, they don't belong in here. And here is her doll. She just can't play with her like she could with her wooden doll because she'll mess her up. And she just sits and holds the doll, and she can't join in the fun because she can't lay the doll down in the sand. And on this side, I made a pocket with one of the National Geographic images. And one of my stamped pieces, another recipe for tropical fruit salad platter, and this pair of hula dancers. And this was an advertisement from the Hawaii Visitors Bureau. Learn the meaning of aloha in the islands of Hawaii. There's a piece of embroidered trim here. Another large recipe card for Island Treasure. I added this piece of embroidered cotton trim. I glued it to blue cardstock to make it sturdy, and then added this embellishment. There's some men in some sort of a canoe type of boat. And just a scrap of decorative paper. Ukelele goes down to the beach with her new doll to wave goodbye to the sailors as they sail away. But that night, she put the new doll on the floor and she took her wooden doll to bed with her. And the last page is another decorative paper cardstock piece, and it has a map of the islands of Hawaii from the National Geographic. I added this light pink border and just did a border stamp of flowers across the top. And it put this recipe for Hawaiian drop cookies in the pocket. And on the back, as I showed in an earlier video, this is where the jigsaw puzzle went, and so it was a slight indentation there. I put a piece of copy paper on here and pressed my pencil and traced to get the shape. And it's close, but not perfect, as I took that copy paper, cut it out, and then traced that onto a patterned paper. But it looks pretty good. And I added an orange library pocket with another piece of Sarah's washi tape, fabric washi, and a flower ornament that we made, and a green library card, and it has my signature on the back. I think this journal is so fun. And like I said, it will come with this envelope with some goodies inside. And the next ones I'm going to make won't be as themed as this one, I don't think. I know this one won't be. But this one is Red Riding Hood and Three Little Pigs, and I have a lot of material that could go with both of those. And I'm only going to have half a book to use, because half of the book will be Red Riding Hood and the other half will be Three Little Pigs. And I'm going to make it so it can flip, you know, it'll be a topsy-turvy book, just like this. It'll have the wires. So I will include other Riding Hood images and other pig images in here. And this one will just be kind of an eclectic book. So I'm looking forward to getting started on them also. I hope that you really enjoyed this journal, and I really enjoyed making it and showing it to you. So when you see, the day you see this video, it will be in my shop at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. See you then. My shop is linked below. Have a creative day. Bye-bye.